Hello students, how are you all doing? Welcome to my class. I hope you are ready with your book, notebook and your pen because I will be making you note down some things and you will be needing it. So if you are not ready, then you can be ready with your textbook, notebook and a pen. So let's get started. On the topic resources, this will be the final class on this topic on resources. Last class I was discussing with you about soil erosion, so I'll just do a brief recap of what we did and I will proceed to my today's points. We did about soil erosion last class. Just to let you recollect what is soil erosion. The removal of topsoil by running water and wind is called soil erosion. There are two types of soil erosion, that is sheet erosion and gully erosion. When heavy rainfall occurs, the speed of the water tends to wash away the top covering of the soil, and as a result, the topsoil is washed away. This is known as sheet erosion. The second type of erosion is gully erosion. Let me write here. The first one I have discussed is sheet erosion. The second one was gully erosion. What happens during heavy rainfall? Heavy rainfall tends to wash away land in uneven terrain, and as a result it takes away or scoops out land, and a channel-like or a passage-like structure is formed, and over time this channel becomes deeper and deeper and also bigger and bigger in size, and this is known as gully erosion. Okay, this type of erosion is called gully erosion. Now it leads to the development of badlands and ravine. And the Chambal Valley in Madhya Pradesh the Chambal Valley in Madhya Pradesh is the result of gully erosion. Up to this much we did last class. So today's class I begin with factors that causes soil erosion. One is physical factors. Physical factors include slopes of land, velocity or speed of wind, and intensity or force of rainfall. Rain or rainfall you can call it. So factors causing soil erosion. Physical factors includes slope of land, speed or velocity of wind, and intensity or strength or force of rain. The second one is human factors. Yeah. And human factor include deforestation, overgrazing of animals, mining, overuse of chemical fertilizers, and also unscientific farming methods. unscientific farming. So, the two factors that cause soil erosion is number one, physical factor that includes slope of land, velocity of wind and intensity of rain, and second one is the human factors, deforestation, overgrazing, mining, overuse of chemical fertilizers, unscientific farming methods, etc. Now, after this, the next topic is, if you have taken down this, the next topic that I will move to is soil conservation. Why soil conservation? Soil conservation is important because soil is a renewable natural resource and it supports all life on this earth. So, why soil conservation? Soil conservation is necessary because it is renewable natural resource that supports all life on this earth. Hence, soil conservation is important. Now, the two processes of soil conservation and soil erosion. Soil conservation is important because soil is a renewable natural resource which supports all forms of life on earth. It is a renewable natural resource, so soil conservation is necessary. Now, two things, okay. First, soil formation, and secondly, soil erosion. These two, soil formation and soil erosion, takes place simultaneously, means at the same time, okay. On one hand, soil formation is taking place and on the other, soil erosion is taking place. It takes place simultaneously in nature, and normally there is a balance between the two, between the soil formation process and the soil erosion process. There is a balance, but sometimes due to human interference, this balance is disturbed. Human interference like deforestation, overgrazing, construction, mining, etc., and also natural process of erosion, the balance is disturbed. So, soil erosion, we define, soil conservation, we define it as man-made effort to save or prevent the soil from erosion and retain its fertility. I repeat, soil formation and soil erosion, these two processes takes place simultaneously at the same time in nature, but sometimes and normally there is a balance between the two, but sometimes due to human interference like deforestation, mining, overgrazing and construction, and also natural processes, this balance gets disturbed. And so we need to take measures to save or prevent soil erosion. So the next topic will be soil conservation. What is soil conservation? The main part I come here. What is soil conservation? Soil conservation is the effort made by man to prevent soil erosion to retain the fertility of the soil. I repeat, soil erosion is the efforts made by man to prevent soil erosion to retain the fertility of the land. There are 6 measures, or there are many measures, but I will explain to you some of the measures that have been taken to prevent the soil from soil erosions. So, Measures taken to conserve soil. Which are those measures which are taken or which can be taken to conserve soil? Number one is afforestation. What is afforestation? Afforestation means protecting the land areas that are under forest or trees. Protecting the areas under trees is called afforestation. So planting trees is a very good method of soil conservation. So I write here, protecting land or soil under trees or forest also you can call it. Planting trees, so planting tree is a good method of soil conservation. This also means that foliage are planted over the undergrowth areas or those areas where plant growth is less. This helps to encourage healthy soil and also increases the water absorbing capacity of the soil. Now, afforestation will also reduce soil erosion because the roots of the trees hold the soil tight and does not allow it to erode over time. So, afforestation or protecting land under trees or forests is a very good way of conserving soil. Planting more and more trees in more areas should be brought under forest. Planting foliage or plant in those areas where there is undergrowth of plants. This will help to encourage healthy soil and water absorption. Also, afforestation will reduce soil erosion as the roots of the trees hold the soil or keep the soil tight so that erosion does not take place easily. Now, the second method of soil conservation, the second method of soil conservation is controlling overgrazing. Here, under controlling overgrazing, farmers can be encouraged to move their animals, especially those farmers who with grazing animals, they can be encouraged to move their animals to different pasture lands. Fodder crops, large areas can be brought under fodder crops so that the vegetation land can be saved. Also, monitoring the areas where cows and other animals graze is important. This helps to prevent depletion of the soil, and it also addresses a very important problem of hoof damage that is caused to the soil. So, the second method of soil conservation is controlling overgrazing. Now, the third one is very simple. Terrace farming. Terrace farming is also a very good method of soil conservation. In terrace farming, land on hilly areas or slopes are cut into terraces or steps. This is done in order to stop the running water from flowing down so that the topsoil is not washed away. So, terrace farming is also a very important method of conserving soil. Large terraces or steps are made on the hills, and instead of running water flowing down the hill slope, this is retained on the level plan, and this helps to protect the soil from erosion. Now, the next one is contour farming. Contour farming. Contour. The next one is contour plowing. Please listen here carefully, because many students get confused with this term, and the way it is written in the textbook, you find it difficult to understand. Contour plowing. Contour means line, okay? And plowing means tilling. Tilling or digging the soil. So contour plowing means digging the soil in a line. For those of you who can see, okay? It can be in the form, so for those who are listening to me, I'm saying that plowing, contour is line and plowing is tilling. So tilling on a line, it can be in the shape of a C or it can be in the shape of an S, okay, joining 2 points of equal height, okay, making a line joining 2 points of land of equal height, that is called contour plowing. Okay, if you understand this, it's very simple. So this is also a method of soil conservation. This technique involves, okay, plowing along the line that is plowed, okay, so that the trench or the ditch, okay, in book it is written furrow, F-U-R-R-O-W, the meaning is shallow trench or ditch, okay. So this follows lines, okay, and so such furrows or trench holds the downward flow of water and reduce soil erosion. So in contour plowing, it is a type of farming where tilling is done along a line in the shape of C or S or others, joining 2 points of equal height, so that the surface runoff or the water is not allowed to pass down and water is retained. Now the next one is strip farming. Strip, as the name suggests, strip farming. In strip farming, large areas of land is cut into strips, okay, and then are divided into strips or cut into strips, you can say, and in between these strips, okay, a line is made, and in that line grasses are allowed to grow, so that these grasses becomes a protection against the running water. When wind blows or when heavy rainfall is there, these grasses becomes a protection from one strip of land to the other. And many a times in strip farming, you will see that trees are also planted on the shelter beds, okay, to create shelter beds, shelter beds. So I will repeat contour plowing and strip farming again. Contour plowing is tilling the soil or plowing the soil on a line, okay, or in line, okay, like in a C or S, joining 2 points of equal height, land of 2 equal height, so that the water, as rain falls, the water is not washed away easily from the higher to the lower level. Here you have to remember that when rain occurs, okay, it flows from higher to lower level. So as it flows from higher to lower level, during heavy rain, speed of water is high, and as a result, the topsoil tends to get washed away. The conservation method is to prevent the topsoil or the first layer of the soil from being washed away, and that is why contour plowing helps. Then in strip farming, large parts of land is divided into strips, and in between strip there is a line where grasses are grown, and these grasses acts as a protection against the erosion of soil, and also sometimes trees are planted as shelter beds. Now the next one is crop rotation. Now crop rotation, as the name term, crop rotation, very simple, rotating crops and growing on a field in a series. Okay, there are certain food crops which absorbs the nutrients of the soil, and if you again and again cultivate that soil, then the nutrients of the soil is all absorbed and the soil becomes unfertile. Okay, so taking turns. Okay, crop rotation means taking turns and planting one type of crop, and after it is harvested, another type of crop, so that the fertility of the soil is maintained. Okay, this process prevents the overgrowth of pathogens and also a lack of fertility in the soil. So this is a very good method of conserving the soil. Then the seventh one I should say, is no-till farming. Here no-till means not tilling or digging the land and keeping it as it is. Now this allows the crop to remain in place for a season, just allowing the crops to remain for a season. This keeps the soil from being bare, or instead of just leaving the soil bare and unprotected, leaving the crop for a season. So no-till farming, this is also a method of soil conservation. Then the last one is construction of dams. I will just write in short, dams. Now when it comes to soil conservation, dams are structures that actually is a resource for soil conservation, because dams are structures that helps to control the overflow of water and helps in soil conservation. So students, the different measures taken to control soil erosion, which we call it as soil conservation, are: number one was afforestation, or protecting the land under trees or forests, planting new trees, bringing more land under forest area so as to protect the soil from eroding. Then second is controlling overgrazing. Farmers can be encouraged to graze their animal over different pastures. Okay. Then terrace farming, cutting the hill slopes into terraces or steps so that water does not flow down the slopes and take away topsoil in the process. Contour plowing, or plowing along the line, okay, joining 2 points of equal height. This also helps in soil conservation. Then strip farming, a big plot of land is cut into strips or pieces, and in between each strip grasses are planted, trees are planted so as to conserve soil. Then crop rotation, there are certain food crops which absorbs the nutrients, and so in order to protect it, crop rotation, different types of crop in different season. No-till farming, not tilling the land for one season. Then dams are structures which helps to conserve soil also. So these are the measures. Now conservation, okay, is the effort that is done to protect the soil or to prevent soil erosion, to manage and maintain the soil fertility. Now it requires collective efforts from the people, and if we take steps, all these steps now, then in the future we can see that the quality of the soil has improved. The next topic will be on water. We are coming to the end part of the lesson. We have done land degradation, land resource. We have done soil. Now we are coming to water. Our next topic is water. Water is a life-giving substance. First, okay. Water is a life-giving substance. No living things can live on this earth without water. Water is a life-giving substance. No living things can exist on this earth without water. Factories, water is a necessity in factories. In fact, factories run on the power that is supplied by hydel power plant. We need water in daily life to clean, to cook, and most importantly to drink. So, thus we say that water is a life giver. Okay. Now, water can also destroy. Water is a life-giving substance. Water can also destroy. When flood occurs, water destroys. It brings destruction. However, the importance of water cannot be denied. Why? The question comes because since time immemorial, settlements have developed around river valleys, streams, ponds, oases, etc. 3 parts of the Earth's surface is covered by water and only 1 part is land. That means there is abundant water in this earth, but only a small proportion of it is available as fresh water, which can be utilized by us, and this fresh water is continually being recharged and renewed. So what is fresh water? The next topic comes, what is fresh water? Fresh water is the water that we get from surface runoff and groundwater. These two. Surface runoff means the water that we get from rain and snow melt that flows over the surface of the earth. That's why it is called surface runoff. And the groundwater, you know, it is also known as underground water. So fresh water, the source fresh water is obtained from surface runoff and groundwater. Now when we come to fresh water, often this question comes to mind, is fresh water potable? Potable means drinkable. No. Why? Because most of the fresh water found on this earth cannot be utilized without some treatment, because they can be easily polluted. They can be easily polluted by human activities. Now this water, fresh water, is continually being recharged and renewed through the hydrological cycle. So what is hydrological cycle? The next one is hydrological cycle. Hydrological cycle is the movement of water on, above and below the surface of the ground. The heat of the sun evaporates seawater to make water vapor. This water vapor goes up, mixes with tiny dust particles high above the atmosphere. On cooling, it becomes tiny drops. These tiny drops, further cooling, becomes bigger in size and comes down as rainfall. Now on further cooling and freezing, it comes down as snow, and this water is again carried by river to the sea. So this cycle of water is known as hydrological cycle. Now the next one that I would like to discuss is dam. What is a dam? A dam is a structure that is constructed across the stream or a running water, okay, by creating a barrier to stop the flow of water, to stop, to retard, or to slow down or divert the flow of water. This structure is called a dam. Now in dam, two words you have to remember, you can see in weir and spillway. These are two things that you will find in your textbook. Weir is the fencing that is built across, very simply put, a fencing or a fence that is put or built, okay. It can also be a low dam that is built to raise the level of water, that is called weir. Spillway is also the same, okay. Spillway is a channel that is built in a certain part of a dam so that water can be, when heavy rain is there and excess water is there, then through the spillways it can be channelized around and across the dam. So today, children, we have seen first about soil and the measures that can be taken to conserve soil, and after that water, okay, how water is a life giver, fresh water, hydrological cycle, weir and spillway. I hope you are able to learn the things that I have shared with you today. Please go through the textbook, keep in touch with your textbook though you are in a lockdown. This is my last class on this chapter. Hope to see you again. Till then, take care, be safe, bye.